Hi, welcome back to Element 14 Presents. My name is Mark. Today we'll be building a Defcon sign, and unlike the terms might suggest, our device is not connected or related to war at all. Instead, it's an ESP32 running a web server with a to-do list, and it's also connected to a LED sign that we're going to build. And depending on the number of tasks you have completed on your task list, the display will show a friendly color or a more harsh color, somewhere between green and red. The more tasks you complete, the more friendlier the sign will display. So you have a good indication of the work ahead and what you still need to finish before the end of the day. So let's get started. It's just a few wires you need to connect. It's not hard. You can simply follow the schematic. We have an ESP32, we have a push button, and we have two pieces of LED strip, and all needs to be connected together. Make sure you don't mix up the ground wire and the power supply or the data lines on the ESP32 and the LED strips, and you're good to go. I basically cut everything on a laser cutter, and I decided to use acrylic, see-through acrylic, because that's what I had available. But of course you can use black or any color you like, or you can even make it in wood. Because I use see-through acrylic, I will have to paint it later. But that's the next step. First we're going to assemble a few things. We're going to glue this part together, we're going to glue this part together. So we have two little square or rectangle boxes that will fit all the electronics, the LED strip and the ESP32. And we will add a little diffuser for each number. For that I use some see-through acrylic, and I use grade 400 sandpaper, and I simply sanded it down like so on both sides. I just made it a bit rough. Yeah, until it's completely milky color on both sides. And those I will use as a diffuser later, and they will be glued inside in front of the numbers. But first, let's glue together a few things. Let me flip this over to start with. And then we're going to use acrylic glue. I use Acryfix. So I'm going to apply some glue. Gently. Don't use a lot. Since I'm going to paint it later, it doesn't really matter that I'm kind of careless with the glue, because everything will be spray painted later. So that's one box. When one number lights up, I don't want the other ones to light up too, so we need to put in separators. And we're going to put them right there. We also glue them down. At this point, it doesn't really matter if they're really straight or not. I just want to separate the light of each LEDs. I want to make individual cabinets. And I can align them later. Like so. So that's the first one. And this will be right on top. And that's how the biggest part of the Defcon sign has been assembled. You can do the same for the smaller part that goes on top. Okay, so I assembled the mechanics so far, except the diffusers. And before I put in the diffusers, I will spray paint it, but first it has to dry. Don't worry about all the excessive glue that I used. That's okay, because I will remove that later and it will be spray painted anyway. The reason I spray painted is because the see-through acrylic, because I didn't have any black acrylic available. Okay, so I do need to paint some stuff, and I have an acrylic based paint. I'm not going to use primer, because I just rather paint it twice, and it's just going to be on the wall, very static, so it has nothing to endure. If I would of course use primer, but to save some cost, that's not what we're going to do today. So I'll start off with the big one. I will do the sides first. I will do the top first, so then the sides. Now the painting is ready and it's all dry. One thing left to do is put in the diffusers. So for that I'm carefully going to flip it over. And I'm going to place these diffusers that I made from acrylic, and I sand them down with little sandpaper, and then I'm just going to glue those in there, which is going to be rather easy because all I need to do is apply a little glue on each segment. And then I just place those inside. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one, number 5. Now, just gonna let that dry before I flip it over, but basically the diffusers are in place. Okay, one piece left. I have to put the diffusers inside the light box. I'm going to do it very simple. I'm just going to glue them down quickly, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Let me show you what I did. I have those little dots of glue, and then I'll just place the diffusers inside. Should be just enough diffusers. Yeah, that'll do it. Like so. Unfortunately, you see one break line here of the acrylic because I use 3 pieces and not one big piece. But we'll make do with what we have. But it's not done anyway, because I still need to glue back the inside of the letter O and the letter D. So this is all the mechanical work, and next is to put in the LED strip, and of course we'll put those together. We'll put in the ESP32, we'll program it, and then we're good to go. Okay, so we have our housing, which is fine, which has these little sections on top, and that's exactly what we're going to do. This is where we're going to paste the LED strip. The ESP32 is going to be in here, and going to be mounted exactly there. I'm going to use some hot glue to make sure it stays where I want it to be. It's just a few wires you need to connect. It's not hard. You can simply follow the schematic. We have to connect the ESP32 to a LED strip, actually 2 pieces of LED strip, and to a switch. And that's all there is to it. Of course, we need to wire up the switch. This is the reset switch. I already mounted it in the housing. The purpose of the switch is to reset your network credentials. Simply press and hold the button while booting on your ESP32, and the credentials will reset to default, and then you can use the Wi-Fi manager again to enter your new credentials. This is useful in case you need to switch to a different network. So we need to wire up the switch, and we need to wire the LED strip. So let's put this aside for a bit, because all I really need is this, and that makes it rather easy, because what I need to do is get the scissors And I'm going to cut this to size. This is about it. So I'm going to cut this to the size I need carefully. Yep, and so that's that part. And then of course for this one, well, this will do it. Like so. And then we're just going to paste this in here. And that should be in center. Otherwise, what I need won't fit. So I carefully remove the protection layer of the Scotch tape. And then we're going to paste this in here. And it has to be centered or that won't fit. So that's the first one. And then we'll do this one. Let me see. Put it right. Like so. So let me remove the protection layer for this one as well. Like so. Now we're going to put that in dead center. When you look at this one, this had these little cutouts to face the LED strip, and if it's not centered, then this will not close. So looks like I did that nicely. Okay. So now we need to do is wire up the LEDs. Now the way I program everything is that first we're going to activate the actual LED of the display, and then all remaining LEDs are background, which is this part. So the data entry of the microcontroller goes into this one. Let's start with that. Sorry for the noise, this is the soldering iron. So that's the first part. Now, data in, center pin goes to the microcontroller, which will be approximately here. And then, of course, we have a data line going back that needs to go all the way there to there. So that's data output of the LED strip, which is all the way at the bottom, like so. Needs to go back up to here, and going back to there, like so, and that will have to go to the data in there. That would have to go right there. This one is in, that one is out. And then we need to connect the wires of the LED strip. First, we'll take the positive side. Now it doesn't really matter how I do it, as long as I do it. So that's one, and that would go just about there. And that would go right to that one. And of course I need to do the same for the ground wire. So, and then this one goes to the microcontroller. And then of course we need to wire up our switch, and that's all there is to it. Good. That's going there. No, just twist some wires for the switch. And considering the switch isn't going to be in that corner, it's going to be there. Just estimate. Yeah, and that was about it. That's what we need. So what I'm doing now, preparing everything to be hooked up to the microcontroller. So it's going to be that one, and this one is going to the switch. Okay, so let's hook everything up to the microcontroller. We have pin 14 for the LEDs, and pin 14, that's going to be great. Pin 14, we have our input, we need to power in. So we need this one, I need this one, and we need pin 13. That's going to be our switch. So basically you can start with the ground wire, which is this one. Then we'll take our plus 5 volts, that one. We have our LEDs, which is 14. Yep, and then all that is left is the one from, oh wait, this is the switch. Let me change that. This is the switch, and then this one is the LED, like so. We're good to go. Of course we need to hook up the switch. That's going to be, just change the angle a bit. It's not that hard. What we need right now is to hook up the wires in here for the switch. That's the first one. So let's continue. Now it's easy because this one we'll just need to glue it down a bit. Just show you what I mean. I'll get my hot glue. And then I'll just do little dots, you know, to keep it exactly where I need it to be, like so. Maybe that was a bit much, so just rub that out a bit. So that's enough for this one. And then this one just goes in here, basically. Yep. And this one goes in here, and all I need to do is put this in place wherever I want it to be, which is there. For that I will use hot glue as well. So just put some glue in here. Yep, like so. That's all I want. A bit more. Like so. And just wait for the hot glue to be hard enough, and then I'll just plug in the USB cable and we're ready to go. Of course I will use some compressed air to clean it all out, but the basic idea is this. This one goes in here, like so. And then we can just close it up. And we have our sign. Okay, so much for hardware. Let's move on to programming. So when you load the sketch, you can see two files. One is our main sketch and one is the web page. The web page has all the CSS and the HTML to display the website we need. So if you want to change colors of the website or appearances, you should look in this file. But let's stick to the main file, and I make it a good habit that whenever I successfully compile a sketch, at some point I'll just put all the libraries I used and the version numbers in top of the file, so I can refer to that later. Most libraries are already installed. All you need to do is install these 4 libraries. You need to do that by hand, and then you can just do that by going to Tools, or here, Include Library, and then Manage Libraries, and you can find them here and install them. You also need to add the ESP32 boards if you haven't already. For that, you go to Preferences, and you have to make sure you add the top line here. We'll put the link below. After adding that line, you can then go to the Board Manager, and you can find the ESP32. Make sure to install the ESP32 by Espressif Systems and not the ones by Arduino for this time. And after installing, you can just select the right COM port when your board is connected, and then you can compile and upload, and then you're good to go. So when you first power on the system, the ESP32 will create an access point that you can access using your cell phone or your computer with Wi-Fi. For that, you find your Wi-Fi settings and you connect to the Defcon access point. When it's connected, it might or it might not automatically load the page. If it doesn't, you can just go there manually, and then you can configure your Wi-Fi. So we click on Configure Wi-Fi, and then you select the network you want to connect to, and you enter the password of your network and press Save. Now it will reboot and it will connect to your network. Okay, so if you don't know what IP address is used, you can either hook your device up to Arduino EDA and then look at the serial monitor, because it will give you the address, or you check your router and see what the address is, what is assigned. Okay, now that's assigned to our network, you can just log into the page, use the IP address your router gives you, and then you can enter a few task lists. Now let's edit the first one. I would say vacuum house. Another one, I would say cook, wash car, buy flowers for wife, and let's add another one, sleep, because I do need to rest a bit. Now that I enter them, a light will light up in my Defcon sign, saying exactly that I have many tasks and none are complete. As soon as I start completing some tasks, it will change, and depending on the number of tasks I complete, it will change even more, like so. I can undo it. If I didn't do the task right, I can just undo the fact that I completed it by pressing this button, or I can clear it completely, and that's all there is to it. Okay, so this is all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. I would like to know if you're going to build it, what you're going to do with it, and if you have any suggestions on what to add or what to change, please let me know, and also feel free to ask any questions. I'll do my best to answer each and every one of you. Visit the project page at the Element 40 community, and you can find all the information you need to rebuild this product yourself. Until then, I'll see you next time.